Yes, yes. What's going on, chat? How we doing? How we doing? Tuesday morning. We have a few setups that we were looking at yesterday that actually played out beautifully. I mean, one of them was we called out in our live stream. One of them we called out on the YouTube short. Excuse me. One of them we called out on the YouTube shorts. Um, we had this one as well, which was really clean. Really, really clean. This is Euro. And for any of you that actually just understand the basic concepts of the system, you would have been able to capitalize on this. The only reason why it wasn't technically a valid trade is because it tapped in at 7:30. So for me, we're not looking to trade it on at 7:30, right? Terrific Tuesday. Welcome, Morale. Hope you're good, brother. In work meeting, you're muted on my side for 20 minutes. All good, brother. All good. What is that thing? That thing is Euro USD. So remember what we showed yesterday? We showed that there was the liquid low here, and then we've come down and taken both of them. Yeah, really clean runs of the lows. Come to the 15-minute, and look what we have. We have a clear run against the previous selling pressure, creating a gap, which gives us our area for entry, and price action plays away. But like I said, it's not valid for me because of the hours it's being delivered. If you trade later sessions or later in a session, then that was probably valid for you. Like I said before, every setup that's delivered is going to have its own criteria, and the validity of it is going to be based off of what kind of time frames you're trading within. Let me. Here we go. I hope everyone's good. Obviously, the lighting conditions aren't ideal. Where I've got big bay windows behind me, there's a lot of light coming in. So I do apologise. I need to. I'm just. So we've got the lows here that were left from yesterday's run. The only thing that we can sort of align ourselves with at the moment. Now, when we go to GU, for example, this is actually bearish, so it's a different story on this. We're expecting this to come down to these lows and run them. They're the targets. Again, nothing really on that, but we are bearish. UJ, we're bearish on UJ, and we didn't see. I don't think. Apologies, guys. I don't think we saw anything here yesterday. Oh, we did, but it was late again. It was there. That was your sell point there yesterday after running this high. Since then, nothing. We do have this high here, which was Asia high. So let's just mark this up as a 4-hour high. Yeah, so we are bearish. So if we come up and we take this out, then we can look for a bearish move. But keep in mind, if we close where we are today without coming down to this level, so if we don't come down to the 144966, then we're going to continue bullish, and we'd expect the shift to change and the bias of the movement to ultimately start going up rather than coming down. Yeah. Gold, we're still bullish. Yesterday we called these as our targets. Price hit those targets and it started pushing away. But that happens. You've seen that happen many, many times before. And that's exactly why we use the same thing, the same points as um, the same points to sell to and from. Time frame, that was a 15-minute time frame, my friend. So if you learn the Orion trading system, the entry time frame is the 15-minute. What's going on, Tickle? What's up, brother? What's going on, Void? Welcome, man. Tickle, Void, welcome, everybody. Remember, just say hi in the chat if you are in here, if you're watching. You don't have to, obviously. But, you know, it helps me make the live streams more entertaining if I've got people to bounce off of. So I am using a single monitor setup today because I'm not at the office, as you can tell. So camera's not ideal, you know, my face is a little bit dark, but there's not really much I can do about that, unfortunately. But I hope everyone's well. I feel like the market's at its highest. Yeah, you know, this could be a valid point here, but at the moment we're still looking for those same things to happen, you know. This is one of the things that having the trading system has really, you know, really helped a lot of my students and myself as well to sort of take a step back from predicting things, because you don't need to predict what the market's going to do. You just need to know what it's doing currently. So is it hitting a point that we can use as a valid area of liquidity to go long? No. Cool, then we don't need to worry. We called this one out yesterday. It's a beautiful move. The low was run, and we had a beautiful move to the upside. Lovely run there. Um, but that's, I think, you know, that's one of those things. You're not always going to be able to catch those. Right, so we're trying to do some numbers today here on YouTube. So if you guys can help me out by sharing the live stream, hitting that like button, I appreciate it all a million. So yesterday we almost hit 100 concurrent viewers on TikTok Live, and then TikTok banned us for some ridiculous reason. Shall I tell you the reason why we got banned off TikTok yesterday? What's going on, Luke? Welcome, brother. The reason we got banned off TikTok yesterday was we were talking about different brokers providing different data on the trading view charts. That's literally all it was. Yeah, we literally said different brokers provide different data. So what it was there was this euro setup, and right here on some brokers it had run that low, but on my broker it hadn't. So I just literally said, yes, some forex brokers provide different data. You know, sometimes there'll be an entry there, sometimes there won't. They ban me for that. So I'm assuming you just can't talk about brokers. I don't look forward to try and get yeah, they're so strict, dude. They're so strict. It's so annoying as well, to be honest, because you're probably, like you guys know, I'm probably the most beginner friendly you know, anti signal service live streamer you're going to find. So I'm like the ideal candidate to stream on TikTok. But yeah, either way, for me, it didn't run the lows, and it came down and it ran the lows later on in the afternoon and gave a beautiful entry there. And like I say before, you know, whether you're trading this within the London time frame or whatever it is that you're looking to do with it, for me, it didn't tap in until 7:30 p.m. So I'm not interested in a 7:30 p.m. tap in. Just not interested. Excuse me. Now I did call for a potential long here this morning. This is USD CAD. We are bullish on this. The only reason I think we're going to go bullish is because I don't think we're going to pull back. So if we're not going to pull back, that leads me into the direct belief of we're going to keep going, right? So this is what I said before as well, and I showed this yesterday. When you're looking at the market and you're trying to interpret the individual points of movement within the market, the easiest thing you can do for yourself and just for the understanding of price action is if your bias is already in place for a certain direction, expect it to go in that direction. So what I did yesterday was I got the chat to give me a random pair, random date, random time, random year, um, and then we done the bias principle that I was explaining then, which is ultimately what is the pair telling us now, what is the bias telling us, and then what should we expect. And it worked out, I think, over 30 days. We were wrong for four and right for the rest of them for 26 days. And then for the rest of them, we were right. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean that your entries are going to be the same. It's not the same thing. But what it does mean is it's going to give you a lot more probability. You know, your long-term understanding is going to be better. Your um, situational awareness is going to be better. So remember, we're here to manage risk. We're not here to enter trades. We're here to manage risks. Managing risk is the number one thing. If you can't maintain and protect your capital, then you know what you're trying to do. I mean, to give you an idea, some of the best investment firms in the world um, will give you like 10% a year on your capital. You know, like Vanguard, BlackRock. If you invest in them, you're looking at like 10% a year. So like if you're anywhere near that kind of return, you're performing with the top financial institutes in the world. I'm pretty sure it's 10% anyway. I might be wrong. Let's see. Oh, last 12 months it was 39% apparently. But 2025 year to date, it's 6.1%. 2022, BlackRock delivered a minus 20%. 2018, BlackRock delivered a minus 20%. So a 10-year average return, 13.7%. So if you can get anywhere near that through 12 months using a system, you're literally performing on the same level as a multi-billion pound investment firm. Think about that. And some of the people that are testing Orion are seeing like 3% return over the space of a year, for example, but they're using a quarter of percent risk. Some students are seeing a higher return than that over the space of a year. Again, you're using a quarter of percent risk. Like I said, some of the years, Vanguard and BlackRock are going into 20% drawdown. So keep in mind the risk exposure difference is so vast. They are afraid you will short them. Yeah, literally, it's kind of crazy though, right? This is, I would say, the entry of the day, if you were. But again, this is happening at 12 o'clock. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 candles before it tapped in. So USD CAD, I'm looking for a clear expansion into these highs. We are bullish on this, so we're expected to stay bullish. Excuse me. I really needed to hear those stats. My drawdown and loss got me screwing my head lately. Yeah, dude, really don't stress on it. The main thing is always going to be this. Have you got data to back up your system? If the answer to that is yes, how many pairs have you tested? Let's say you've tested one. Let's say you've tested one, you've seen a 10% return in the space of a year, or you've seen a whatever percent return in the space of a year. Work out the kind of risk that you're applying to that, then the amount of maximum losses you've taken during that period. That gives you your um, statistical probable pro probable drawdown, probable drawdown that you will occur during that kind of time period, right? Obviously, the drawdown doesn't dictate your account because you could occur drawdown after gaining profit, or you could occur drawdown before gaining profit. Um, so let's say you're using a 1/4% risk and you're seeing a 6% return over the space of a year. If you use a 1% risk, that return becomes four times. So it would be a 24% return over the space of a year on a singular pair. So you have to really think about it in a statistical way. Remember that we work in a numerically driven industry. So numbers are going to be the only way you're going to be able to conquer that industry. I'm just, oh shit, there we go. So the last live stream we actually done a speed run trial, which was like me speed running a pair that you decide to, you know, to get me to analyze essentially. Um, but we haven't done that for a little while because it's kind of pointless because I do it so quick that it doesn't serve any purpose. So I had some questions yesterday in the TikTok live stream. And people were asking me about um, how did I get so quick at analyzing? But the answer is that it's just muscle memory. Just gets to the point where it's just muscle memory. And you'll get to the same point. It takes time, but I do need to delete this though. Delete this. Okay. So we've got USD pushing up here. Now remember, it doesn't really matter to us if our bias is wrong for a singular movement or price is moving against us for a day or whatever. It doesn't really matter because we need to see that counter move to be able to re-enter the market in the optimal condition. This was the entry that was given yesterday. Again, this is like a 7 p.m. thing, but it came in close to it and then it sold away beautifully. Really nice sell. Now it's starting to reverse again, but that's fine. Remember, what we have to look at each single point within the market as is like fuel. We have to look at a fuel for the market, and when you see fuel for the market, you start to understand that not every single point within the market is going to give you the same amount of movement. So it's kind of like, let's say each point of liquidity is a singular barrel of fuel, for example, but you can't see inside that barrel. So some of the barrels may be full up, some of the barrels may be like empty, and some of them could be, you know, halfway. So sometimes you're going to see a move like this, right? And then you say, sweet, that's nice. But this is the equivalent of like a 30%. You know, this is like a 30% charged fuel right here. So it gave you a move, and yeah, it would have been substantial. Like if you'd have looked at this, let's say it did tap in. I know it didn't, but theoretically, play along with me. Let's say it did tap in, you would have ran that down to a 6.6 at one point. Now, I know that some people default to 5R, some people default to 3R, some people default to 4R. I can promise you now, defaulting to different risk profiles, so for example, 3R, 4R, 5R, your results are going to drastically change from one to the other. So it's really important to make sure that you either review previous price action um, that you've already tested with a certain profile, so you don't have to retest, or you just retest and do the whole thing again. Again, it's a long-winded process, but it's worth it, right? I got 10% on Orion, 0.25% risk. Yeah, so if you calculate that up to, excuse me, calculate that up to a full percent risk, that's a 40% return. That's a 40% return, which obviously, you're always going to have people that will go, 40%? That's not very good. I mean, 40% from one pair, 100K account, that's 40K. 40K from clicking a few buttons, right? That's the kind of that's the kind of moves we're looking for. And then when you bring another pair into that, if you have the same statistics for the same time period, you're going to start to see that. You're going to start to see that. But that's awesome, Luke. Really good work, man. Luke's one of the mentorship students. He's been absolutely smashing it. So keep up the good work, my dude. So one of the biggest things is always remembering that it's you. Trading is a reflection of you. So the best traders come to the market prepared to lose. The best traders don't hunt for the highest hit rate. They don't hunt for precision. They hunt for consistency. There's a difference between being super duper precise and being consistent. You can be consistent and not be precise. Yeah. So being precise is fine, but it doesn't mean it's going to consistently deliver the same thing. So, for example, let's say you have three targets to hit. Okay, three targets to hit, and there's a singular point in the middle of each of these targets. Okay, so in the middle of these targets is like the area that you want to hit. So being precise, you're only going to be aiming for this center dot. Okay, so the chances of you missing that center dot is high. It doesn't mean that you won't hit it like this. We do hit it, right? But look at all the other shots that we've had that have landed in the same area. So consistency is going to bring you into a same relative area. Precision is going to give you a singular pinpointed area, but precision is harder to maintain rather than consistency. Consistency is easier to maintain. And when you're looking at trading, you have to be precise and consistent. So it's like even harder. So remember, if you haven't already hit that thumbs up, guys, make sure you do, because it will really help us get this stream out to some other people. Yeah, here we go. All right. So we've got 4 thumbs up right now. Can we get to 10? We've got 15 people in the stream. I know where some of you are from, but where's everyone else from? Obviously, I know where, I know where a lot of you are from. Orion gave me a good one on GJ this morning. Let's see. Uh, Here? I might be wrong, but I feel like that could be it. Yeah. Shorted this morning. Like that? Like, okay. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. Yeah, so that's a great example. The same thing right there. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Every single person's trading timeframes are going to be different. So, for example, this is probably valid for one person, but not for another. So, for me, that would just be out of my time zone. But for other people, it's in their time zone. So, this is why when I showed you this setup, which honestly is one of the cleanest setups we've seen in a while, this would be in Demi's time zone. This would be in Dami's time zone right here. And this is a 1 to 23, which is not a very regular thing. Obviously, we know this. But for me, it was just out of my time zone. So I weren't trading it. UJ, to be honest, has been like performing so well lately. It's been doing some great swings, beautiful moves. I also had a little bit of a challenge that I was going to set to some of the community members, but I'll keep you guys updated for that is. Shorted at 99203. Nice, brother. Good work. Dun, dun. So it's a beautiful day today. Beautiful day today. So we've got 5 thumbs up right now. If you're on your mobile, click that thumbs up button. If you're on PC, make sure you click that thumbs up button as well. Hey, we're in the same time zone. Just wake up early. Yeah, that's fair enough, man. Are we in the same time zone? Are you in the UK, Dammy? For some reason, I thought you were an hour ahead or an hour behind. Yeah, I don't wake up early. I've I've never been an early bird. That's for sure. So there ain't really anything going on right this second, which is fine. Remember, what don't we do? We don't hunt. We don't hunt. We just wait. We just sit and we wait. Bearish right here. Nothing too crazy going on. Oh, Northern Ireland. Yeah, same time zone. Yeah, I'd be waking up late. I barely ever trade London Open, to be honest. I mean, sometimes I might see something happen on London Open, but a lot of time, not really. Let's have a look at some of our like crypto pairs. I'm interested to see what they're doing right now. I'm gonna go XRP. XRP is just chilling. So yesterday in TikTok Live, I spoke about the system I use for um, long-term investments and the principle I use for getting entries within a potentially bullish or potentially bearish environment. So this is XRP, and I'm going to show you some of the points that I've accumulated more XRP using this principle. So we're looking for a money in and money out principle here. Okay, super simple. So I'm going to turn this on so you guys can see it. So remember, if you don't already know the money in, money out, then really you need to be going to watch the Keep It Simple series. Okay, so you can see the last gap here was a bullish money. Actually, probably can't see it here. The last one here is a bullish money in. So when I go onto the daily time frame, I'm going to reaccumulate or reinvest every time I see a new money in appear. Yeah. So what you're going to find yourself is having clusters of orders that sit in an area, but you're also going to realize that they give you almost the lowest entry. You think in the last year, the lowest possible price you could have bought this is here. Yeah. So really, if we're looking at the points that we got our entries using this money in, money out, we're actually at the most realistic low section that we could be at, aren't we? And all we've done is taken the monthly time frame, looked at the direction of the money in, money out, in this case is bullish, and then looked to follow that on the daily time frame. So if I rewind this and I'll show you before we took off massively, and I'll show you down here because this is obviously a similar price action area. So look at this area as well, right? Notice how it gives you an area here, area here, area here, area here, area here. Then it gives you an area here, area here, area here. So if you've got limits at these points, notice how one of our entries is actually like the lowest, again, the lowest you could possibly really expect to be within this price action. And again, here, this is like the lowest section within this price action. And then if we say our average order sits around here, yeah, that's our average order. So as long as price stays above this, our collective orders are in profit. And that way it just goes vertical. But the idea is not this to get, it's not to get every single entry you have at a really super duper amazing position. It's just to have a better than, oh, I'm just going to buy now, statistic. So it's the same as this. We're still bullish here. So we set a limit here. Taps in beautifully. We set a limit here, 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 set a limit here. So again, look how we have a huge accumulation of our own orders at the base of which turns out to be a huge move. So mate, at this point, every single order you have is in profit. And again, reaccumulate some more here, reaccumulate some more here, reaccumulate some more here, reaccumulate some more here again. And collectively, you're going to find yourself accumulating positions at the potentially best area that you can expect for a short-term move anyway. So when you do accumulate positions, we are looking to exit some of them. So what we do is we'd exit the higher ones that have less percentage on them. So you'd exit, for example, 50% of total positions, and you use that equity to reinvest again at different points. Yeah, but we're using the same principle that we teach in the Keep It Simple series. And this is why I love XRP, because every time it delivers something like this, we situate ourselves at low points and then it just takes off and it delivers some really, really nice moves. Again, it's not financial advice, as always. It's my own personal operations, if you were. And again, you don't have to be put, we're not talking thousands here, we're talking 50s and hundreds. Because those 50s and hundreds double up, triple up, you take profit, you add it back in, and they over time accumulate into those thousands. So if you could give us a thumbs up, guys, I'd appreciate it. Thumbs up and a follow would be absolutely brilliant. So there is, like I say, there is something that we're going to have a little look at some point this week. Nothing crazy. So we expect the targets to be hit here. Now there was an entry down there actually. I never saw that. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Looks like it's out of our time zone. No, it's not. Is that this morning? No, it's yesterday. Did we actually miss that? Brother, how did we not see this? Did anyone follow this? Holy smokes. Again, not my time zone, it's a little bit late. That's absurd. That's absurd. That move's ridiculous. And there's the TP. That's actually insane. I didn't even notice that. That's actually wild. Look at that. Oosh. That's the quickest TP you see. That's crazy. What was the update on EU? Wasn't available earlier? I'll show you. So eBay, 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 EU, we have an expansive move to the upside is what we're looking for. Um, but other than where we are now, we're doing nothing other than expecting it to continue up. And we don't have a potential for opening a gap down. So bullish is going to be the bias for at least the next 2 days. At least the next 2 days. Yeah, there is no potential for that to reverse yet. In my opinion and in the systems in the database, the probability database. We had the bullish move there, like I say. Really nice move, beautiful. And then price action just here is starting to take off again. So we could see price action continue. So we do have U shift on there, Euro Japanese yen, Euro British pound. Uh, we got some really clean moves there, to be honest. We got some serious Japanese yen weakness coming in because the Japanese yen is getting absolutely blasted to the upside here. Euro Swiss franc, that shit's been chopping. I think we're still bullish. We're still bullish on this. We got a bearish bias on all Swiss franc pairs. Aussie CAD, bearish. Aussie USD, bullish. Let me just get this here in a second. XAU, XAUSD, check. Yeah, it's just sitting in the middle of the range at the minute. It's not really doing too much, to be honest. It's just chilling. Uh, Yes. Yes, indeed. So we're just looking for price action to come down into the lows, and then we'll look to go long. So much, so much stuff to do. Okay, so remember we're bearish on this, so we're still looking for price action to interact here and give us a sell move. Now we've got a high, which is also the Asia high, so we'll see what price action does when it gets there. We've got the London high here for Euro JPY. We'll see what price action does here. We could target 365 on gold. 365 gold targets 365. Yeah, we could target 365, but we do have a valid target that's given lower. So, like this, for example, you see how here, when price tapped into this lower area, we didn't actually get an entry. But let's say that we got an entry, we would target these 2 points. Yeah, these 2 points right here are the points that we'd be looking to follow. Now, why would we be looking to follow these? Well, we'd be looking to follow these because these are our targets, right? So if we'd have extended to this, we would have come to our targets and then dropped like we have now. So the idea is if we were to get an entry here, we should only trade it to our target. The reason for that is because the way our system works is when it hits these areas, it's likely to react. So what we don't want to do is hit this point and price sell off when really we could have been out here. You know, we could have been out in a profit rather than taking a BE or taking a partial. So you can target the highs for a longer term move to the upside, 100%. There's no reason why you can't. Um, just be realistic with it. And what does your excuse me, what does your data tell you? Your data tells you that you should look to target your high that is situated nearest on the time frame you're using your liquidity on, right? So around the highs here, not a 4 hour high. I'm pretty sure there's a daily high around here somewhere. Yeah, right there. We just hit that daily high. So we know what happens at daily highs. There's chances of reversals. This 4 hour candle is pretty monstrous though, so I don't expect it to slow down, to be honest. Look at the daily candle, holy smokes. And this is what I said before, right? Turn the boxes on. Look how long we've been bullish on this. We've been bullish on this for like 20 something days. 41 days we've been bullish on this, and it's just consistently moved higher every single time. USD JPY has run the high. No volume there though, unfortunately. But can we get to 10 likes? We're on 8 likes. Can we get to 10 likes? I'm sure we can, right? Come on, team, run it up. Run it up, run it up. What's going on, Bruno? Welcome, dudes. Welcome, man. Hope you're well. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, come on, guys. Hit that like. Yeah, so we're looking for price action to deliver some potential bearish moves here on Euro JPY. And again, this is because the high, which is a previous daily high, I'm pretty sure it's a high volume daily high. It is a, yeah, high volume daily high. And we've contacted this. So probability of reversal is high. Now, the reason I say this is because if you look at what we've got, look at this previous section of price action, right? We have here, and then that's it. Everything else here is empty. There's nothing there at all, right? So we're filling that inefficiency. Follow this across and down to the hourly. This case, we ran the high. We had a push up. I mean, this was a, oh, this was a Friday close, so it doesn't, that's not the same relevance. But here we had a Sunday where we opened up bullish and then we come pull back down. I believe this could be the point where we see price divert some of its liquid lower. Like I said before, we are bullish, so we shouldn't expect price action to go bearish, but we need to keep on the table that there is potential for it to move. Now, it doesn't mean we sell it against the trend. What it means is if we're going to see price realign itself to one of our areas that we want to actually buy from, now could be the time. Yeah, hour and 25 minutes, this could be the low that we hit, so we could see price do this. Gonna watch the Chelsea Flemini's match. I don't watch football, dude. Yeah, I don't watch football, man. You gonna watch it? So we're hitting those targets now. We've hit that target that we spoke about. USD, JPY just pushing up still. Semi-finals of the World Cup in the US. Oh, right, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've never really been interested in football. It doesn't do anything for me. Like my dad tried his best to try and get me into football when he was younger, but it didn't work. So the entry that we spoke about yesterday here, about to TP right now. Didn't get any entries from Euro, unfortunately. Euro Japanese, not Euro, Euro USD will be break even right now. So if price comes down lower, it will definitely take you out. USD JPY, not USD JPY, USD, sorry, JPY USD, again, didn't give any entries. USD JPY, we are bearish on this. Um, and this is something to realize, even though we're bearish on GU, we're bearish on UJ, just because they're correlated, it doesn't mean that opportunities aren't going to arise to trade it in that direction. So we always follow the system. We don't contradict the system based off of external elements. The other semi-final match, Real Madrid PSG. Nice, nice. Well, I bet that'll be fun. Are you going to watch it? I feel like you are. German 30, German 40, sorry. We actually took the low here. Let's see. Look at the way this is an entry that was given. Then we had another entry that was given right there. That's stupid. That's stupid. Look at that. Jesus. Jesus. Two beautiful moves right there. That's in German 40, by the way. So I think we're seeing gold revisiting lows. That's what I think we're going to see, yeah. I think right now we're seeing a little bit of expansion pre-New York. I'm just checking the news. Chinese firms supply Russia with war drones. Hmm. In terms of scheduled news, we have one more news event, which is at 3 p.m. my time, so that's like another 2 hours, two and a bit hours. Yeah, gold revisiting the lows, I believe, is what's happening here. This is what I said earlier. Remember, we're looking to go long. We will look for here, and then we'll target here. So it gives our bias context. So we now have a bias with context, and we apply. We go, okay, this is our bias. It's bullish, and we want it to happen between these 2 points. That's why we use the pivotal points within the market, because it gives you the highest probability of consistent understanding. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, let's go Euro again. Euro JPY. Just want to know what's going on here. Okay, so this isn't a confirmed low just yet. Excuse me. I don't know why we got three different gold charts. Let's go Nasdaq here. So remember we called bullish on Nasdaq yesterday too. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. What's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. Hi, from India. Hope you're all good, my man. Guys, remember if you are watching right now, you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to be live streaming for the next couple of days here on YouTube till we get access back to our TikTok account. Like I said before, YouTube is good, but it just lacks that engagement. We just don't get the same amount of engagement as we do on TikTok. You guys are amazing. Love it. Um, but we need more engagement, you know? TikTok, you get that. So that'll be the point that you'd be getting taken out of break even. Still bearish on GU, nothing's changing. UJ just continuing to expand. I'm pretty sure it's a Japanese yen weakness here, to be honest. It's the same thing with this. Pretty sure it's Japanese yen weakness. And I believe it's from the news that we had yesterday from Trump saying that he's going to put a 25% tariff. You can check that on Financial Juice. Financial Juice is giving you updates from what like Trump's saying, what Trump's doing, and I think that's what it is. So, like I say, we've been bullish on this for 40 plus days now, so I'm not expecting it to just reverse. Like we might get a short-term pullback, but I don't think we're going to see long-term reversals. Not yet, anyway. You can see, look at all the lows. It only took out one set of lows, and then every other low that it's produced, it's just maintained. And the entry it did give was crazy. It was crazy, crazy. So just theoretically, say you held it, it's like a 16R. It's clean. Again, Euro USD long. We gave this Euro USD long out in our reels, so or YouTube Shorts. Sorry, not reels. Let me show you. Obviously, it's a really, really blurry screenshot here. But look, these are the lows. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Yeah, we come down, we hit the low, we go up, hit the low, we go up. So we're showing you the exact setups that we're showing you now, but before time. Yeah, before they're happening. We've done the same thing for this setup. We showed you these lows and the setup for it. So we're an hour and 10 minutes into the live stream. Excuse me. It's like a nice day out there. Looks real good. Looks real good. Remember, if you've got any questions, guys, now's the time to hit me up with them. I would love to know your questions. Yeah. Why, Delilah? Alright, we've got not a huge amount. Another 5 minutes or so, we're going to wrap this live stream up, I think. Yeah, definitely Japanese yen weakness. Look at all the Japanese pairs. Definitely Japanese yen weakness. Crazy weakness. It's so bullish. Okay, guys, if you haven't already checked out the description down below, all of the links are there. If you want to set yourself up a Vantage account, you want to trade your own money, you can do that. If you want to join the Discord, you can do that as well. Whatever it is that you want to do with any of the links down below, now is the time to do it. So I'm going to be wrapping this live stream up in a couple minutes' time. Um, it's been a good blast. The markets are pretty slow today, to be honest. Pretty slow. Well, they're not slow, but they're not rushing to areas that we're going to be able to trade them from, are they? So nothing crazy going on. Make sure you stay hydrated. Remember the daily bias indicator, you can get that whenever you like. It's completely free. Grab it from here. Right, chat. We're gonna wrap it. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you to every single one of you for joining the live stream. Appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow for another live stream. Similar time, I would have thought. Maybe a little bit later, maybe a little bit earlier. Roughly the same time. Um, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Appreciate that a lot. And yeah, stick to your risk. Follow your trading plan. Remember, Orion is going to lead you. So just make sure you know the rule set so that you can actually follow it. Big love to every single one of you. And I'll see you all very soon. Peace and love, guys. Ciao, ciao. See you in the next one.